Hello everybody, Iain Robson here, welcome back to Baldeykino. So if you recall from the previous episode, we were working away on the field here, we were spreading manure, probably shouldn't walk in it, but we were spreading manure there, and now we're just going to go ahead and plow it into the ground. As you can see, I got my case here, Case Magnum 380, something you probably wouldn't see in Baldeykino in real life, but that's okay by me. I like the tractor, so there we go. So what we're going to do is do a little bit of, let's do this, and let's just move forward a little bit. There we go. Now I'm going to do a little bit of plowing, so I'll do some of it myself. I won't do all of the field because it's a kind of a large field. What I'll do is I'll try this just to see how it works. Just to see how it works with this size of plow. Because I'm curious. Anyways, hope you've been doing well. Huh, that's weird. That doesn't lower it down. Wonder why that drive control doesn't lower that down. Drive control is kind of weird sometimes. Sometimes it'll lower the implement, and sometimes it won't lower the implement. I can lower the front, but not the back. That's strange. Maybe I'm just pressing the button too many times too fast? No, it's funny. I don't know. Anyways, let's get started here. So, now that we're plowing this into the ground, let's just go full speed here. Now that we're plowing this into the ground, what will happen is the nutrients will actually shoot up. So if you look carefully down here, you'll see at X4, X2, and if I come back here, you should be able to see the increase right away. 7 and 4, there's 12 and 5 right there, 11 and 5. So that's what happens when you use a plow and soil mod, basically. So there are bigger plows out there. I may eventually get one of the bigger plows, but for now this one seems to work well because we only really have 2 fields and they're not super huge right now, so it's not a huge deal. But I like how they changed the textures on this. I don't know if this is a standard texture on this particular on Baldeykino. I can't remember, honestly, but I do like it. I've always liked it. Ever since I first saw that texture for plowed texture, it's been my favorite. I think that particular texture originally came from, let's see how that works. Is it going to skip? That's what the automatic turn feature will do. I'll just do it myself because I don't like the way that works. Let's just get straightened out here, and then I'll continue my train of thought. There we go. There we go. Anyways, so I think it originally came out on Old Ridge Farm by OEB Modding. I think they were the original creators of it. I want to say they are. Maybe they aren't. If you know the answer to that, correct me if I'm wrong. But that's where I remember first seeing that particular texture, and it's fantastic. I love it. Of course, you can always get the there's a couple there. The GMK mod, the Gulmis Kalk mod, which basically means like slurry, manure, and lime, basically. If you have those installed, there's a different texture for at least for the manure. And I don't think this is it, but we need to make that a bit smaller. It's at 7.3. I don't think that we're actually at 7.3. Let's check. I think it's actually 7, 6 maybe even. Don't know why I think it's 7. Yeah, 6.8. Let's go 6.7 just to make sure. There we go. Make the turn. There we go. Gotta love the quick camera mod. I love that mod. Basically, the quick camera mod is what I just did right there. Look forward and back. That's what they call the quick camera mod. That's basically all it does. And you can adjust it to look forward, backwards. You can actually set it up so if I'm in cab right here, and I want to look to the left, there's like a little, you can press to the left or to the right. I just use it for looking forward and backwards almost always, because I often find myself not centered and it's kind of annoying sometimes, so I like having that set up the way, set up properly at least. So the other nice thing about plowing this field, of course, is the fact that we will get rid of all the weeds as well. And as you can see, there's quite a few weeds, which is a bit of a problem in reality. Because if we don't get rid of the weeds, they'll actually, what actually happens with the soil mod was when you leave the weeds on the field, they actually strip all the nutrients away from that particular area. So what will happen is they'll take all the nutrients from the area and then the weeds will just die in the area. It's really strange. There we go. Let's go a little bit further here. Raise that up. There we go. So again, that's a quick camera mod that allows me to look forward and backwards real quick like that. Or adjust the direction I'm heading. I don't know. I use it a lot. One of these days, Track IR will work perfectly fine with Farm Sim, but I think it'll be a while yet. Based on Giant's current record, maybe you'll have Track IR in cattle and crops. Like, that would be pretty cool. Like, that would definitely be a one-up. I hope that they offer integration with things like the G27, for example, and maybe even the SciTech side panel or whatever, however they set it up. But they should really open it up to peripherals, much like Farm Sim did eventually, because it took a long time for Farm Sim to actually get peripherals to work properly. And then when it finally did, it was like, what, FS15? But like, you could use your G27 and FS13, but it was like a really weird way of getting it to work properly, so very strange. I have to admit, even though this is a Russian farm, Farmer Beavis is right. You really can't go wrong with almost any piece of equipment on this farm. Like, I've used quite a few different pieces of equipment, and they all look perfectly at home, so to speak, which is kind of strange considering like where it actually is. All right, there we go. Lowering that back down. Nice. You could hire a worker for this too. I think the worker would just miss a little bit, but this is actually going pretty fast. I'm kind of surprised actually. But remember, this is a 400 horsepower tractor, so I would expect it to move pretty fast, even with a plow, or quickly enough. Although this plow does require 280 horsepower, so. It's funny though, if you look in the categories, like, let me just show you real quick. If I go into the mods, and I go into cultivators, this mod is actually the top-down. I'm using the top-down 700 right here, which requires 280 horsepower. And it's actually considered a cultivator though, but as you see, it's plowing, not cultivating. Now the cool thing is, if you look on the back, you can actually attach a few of the different attachments to this if you want to. I personally don't do that, but you can if you like. I think on the back of this you can add, oh geez, what can you add in the back of this thing? There are a couple sprayers. Are they in here? No, maybe they're not in this section. Ah, these guys. You can add these right here, which spread MPK. So you can attach these into the back if you want to put that on your field at the same time. It's possible, which is kind of neat. Although you will have to refill it, of course, like you would anything else. But it is kind of a cool little functionality that they added with these particular soil mod specific plows and cultivators, actually, because you can actually do it with the cultivators as well, which is cool. There we go. And I got these from Mod Hoster, if you're wondering. I know often people wonder where I get these things from. Most of the time it's Mod Hoster, to be honest with you. But that's where I go for most of my mods, actually. Mod Hoster or FS-UK. Those two. There are some other, like, I go to American Eagle modding sometimes, but almost everywhere on the modding front has been pretty slow, to be honest with you. So anywhere you really look, it's kind of like, okay, well, that's that, and that's done, so just the way it goes, I suppose. I wonder how a hard worker would handle this. Should be able to hire a worker. Yeah, should be fine. may not do as good as a job. It's always the case. You can hire a worker and you can use Courseplay and Auto Tractor, but it's never going to do it as good a job as you did. Well, minus that little part right there. Of course. Nice looking field. Now the other plow I do have and I could use theoretically is these two. I have this Flex Disc and I also have this JCB John Deere by Limburg J Modding. He actually, I think he released an update to that not too long ago. So, anyways, continuing with our, let's finish the rest of that. There we go. Continuing with our short episodes, let me know what you think about the short episodes. If you like them, let me know. If you don't like them, let me know as well. I'm gonna try just for the sake of trying it out, seeing how it works for you guys. Just like 10-minute episodes, just me doing one activity. And what will happen is I'll just probably finish your activity off camera, and then just so you can see the starting of it, then I'll finish the rest of it off camera, like I said. So let me know how you like them. If you like them, let me know. If you don't, let me know as well. That'll be it for me for today. My name's Iain Robson. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Baldeykino, and if you did, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button for some more Baldeykino. I'll catch you guys later.